Okay, welcome. This is your host, Ken Freeman, and this is another Social Media Minute. And today, here is what I have for you. You know, throughout the social media community, we're all striving to try to find that next customer. We're trying to sort out between all the spammers, the get-rich-quickers, the porn providers and hustlers. And we have to try to keep going. We need to reclaim Twitter. We need to reclaim Facebook. We need to get back to the basics of business. And how many of us are frustrated with social media? And before we get frustrated, I want you to know that there are some keys to success on your social media in building the conversation with the community. A community of followers who will follow you and enhance your business and embrace your business, engage your business, are gold. And the problem is this: how do you succeed when 1 out of 20 are the ones that are going to actually be that gold client? Well, to do that, I think there's some key things we can do as social marketers. Number one, we can do a self-examination. We can ask ourselves some key questions, and those key questions, I think, will help us to build our conversation better. What kind of people do I want to talk with, and when would be the best time to enter that conversation? Where are these people? You know, you can search a number of social media sites, beginning with Twitter, Facebook, going over to Vimeo or Hula, or to any of the various, even using News, Google, blog, you know, search the blogs on Google. Find out what people are talking about, and then go to those conversations that have something to do with your business. And then determine when would be the best time to enter the conversation, and what would you say when you join that conversation. Ask yourself this: how can I inject value and usefulness into the conversation without coming across as being a commercial or a promotional statement? Remember, social media is never been designed to be a commercial. It's really a conversation, and that big conversation that we're having is building a community, and that community is where your customers are going to come from. So the key to a successful conversation is to provide values in the terms of what you happen to be an expert in, your opinion, your product or your service, and what can it mean to them. And one of the best ways you can do that is to earn their trust, and earn their trust by asking them to engage in your product, or asking them questions that will bring others into the conversation that will engage your product. Now, if we step over the line and we offend them or we violate their trust, how do we go about going back to them and apologizing and regroup, or regain their trust if we have broken their trust? Many of the answers to these questions cannot be had until you actually assimilate into the communities and the conversations. But by thinking about these situations in advance is really no different than, say, preparing for a press release before the reporters that may come, and trying to think through what they're going to ask you. Prepare yourself with answers ahead of time. Read and be ready to react. And then, though this is not a soup to nuts how-to social media strategy, it is a very practical tool and a tip, if you will, to answer these key questions so that you can be successful at the core conversation of promoting a connection with your business. So use these questions to your advantage, and remember this: until we meet again, this is your social media coach, Ken Freeman, just urging you to engage social media. It works. And by the way, as we approach our next social media minute, I'd like to hear from you. What tools have you been using that are the newest tools that you've added to your portfolio? What is it that you're doing with social media that you see working? I'd like to have your comments. So just go right ahead and comment right here, and let me hear from you. Now, until we meet again, keep up the good work, and please keep your social media fed.